Hello and welcome to WJTS-Inform. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Let's find out about some tips for healthy eating for both women and for men. Joining me in the studio is Jan Dougan. She is the Extension Educator for Purdue Extension in DuBois County. Jan, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to talk about healthy eating habits.
Yes, we are.
Suggestions for men and women. Why are we splitting it between men and women?
Well, I think when you think about lifestyles and you think about women, number one, most women need, on the average, need less calories per day than most males. And then when you think about who's doing the caregiving, who's probably making the food decisions in many families, and that's probably the woman rather than the man. And I think I'd like to empower some of the men viewers to step up and make some more of those decisions.
And do more work in the kitchen.
Oh yeah,
Cook
that
more
would
meals.
be great. That would be great. Everybody would love that, right?
Yes. Well, I tell you, I really do enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking in the kitchen, so well, I guess or on the grill, so I could be outside as well.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about some healthy habits or healthy lists that you have for, I guess, women first.
So
always ladies first.
All right. So to make better food choices, the USDA has published 10 tips that women need to be aware of, and we wanted to share those for women's health. So find out what you need is the first one, and really you can utilize the myplate.gov website if you want to learn more about your age and your weight and your height and your physical activity level to find out how many calories you need, what foods you should be eating. You can actually go to the website and you can put in something that you've had to eat for the day, or all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then it will show you what you're missing. Are you missing, like maybe you're missing whole grains, or maybe you're missing more dairy foods that you need. So that's a great place to start, to find a benchmark where you really should be. Enjoy your food, but just eat less. Eat more slowly. We've talked before on the shows about eating mindfully. Even using smaller plates is a way of tricking our brains, our minds, to think that we're getting more, but we're not. And then we need to take time to enjoy those smaller amounts of food. Women especially need to strengthen their bones. You can do that through activity, weight-based activity, but you can also do that through dairy food choices that we need to have every day. One of the ways that I've been able to incorporate that in my own personal diet is I used to always drink my coffee black, and now it's more milk and less coffee. So that's one way that you could do that, but you can come up with other creative ways that will work for you. We want women to think about what they're putting on their plate, and we want to encourage you to make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Think about getting all those different colors on your plate, the red, the green, the yellow, the dark green. Mix it up and make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Hydrate is so important. Drink plenty of water, or get liquid through other beverages, fruit juices, fruits that we eat, lots of vegetables that we eat have water in them. So it's really important to stay hydrated. Again, we always mention eating more whole grains, and there's a lot of different kinds that you could try. So, you might want to think about trying some new whole grains that you've never tried before so that you get more, because these have key ingredients in that we need for a healthy body, and it also helps us feel fuller longer so that we maybe not will eat as much. If you need to start reading nutrition labels, that's a good tip to know where you are. And I think we've talked where you're reading nutrition labels now, and you're looking for sodium, and you're looking for maybe fats and what is in the foods that you're choosing. It's a good idea to cut back on some foods that we might be enjoying, but not eliminating them, just cutting back on those that are higher in fat. Maybe cut back on some of the cakes and cookies, the ice cream. Just use them as occasional treats and not every day all the time. Try cooking. Really, we're finding that when people are cooking, then they're actually eating healthier, they're eating better, and they're feeling better. And then to try to be active whenever you can and incorporate activity into every day. Those are the 10 tips for women to help them improve their health and make better food choices. And we want to talk too about the men, and I bet you've been incorporating some of these things in your
yes,
lifestyle.
I have. I've been trying to watch. I've actually put, in the grocery store, a can back and chose fresh instead, or frozen instead because of the sodium that there might be in there, or looking at a light syrup rather than a heavy syrup.
So have you found those changes really tough?
No.
No,
because I think what we're talking about is not that you have to give up anything. I'm not giving up the things I enjoy. I'm just watching how I do it. I'm eating mindful, as we keep saying. I am eating mindfully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think one of the things, sometimes we want to think that there's a magic food or a magic way to eat so that we can be healthier. But there really isn't any magic food. We need to eat all the foods. We need to mix up the foods, and we want to encourage men to do that. And, I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think there's a lot of men that are meat and potatoes guy, and that's what they want. And we really need to change that up some and try some more vegetables, some different ones. And, you might find something that you enjoy just as much as those potatoes. If it's there, you're probably going to eat it, right?
Yes.
So if it's something you don't want to be eating, keep it out of the kitchen. And I think that's probably a really good tip. Keep things that you want to eat ready and available. Make that conscious choice to eat those things. And I think you'll find that you are making healthier choices just by making that small change. Again, those whole grain foods, they're going to help keep you full. And keep you feeling fuller longer during the day. Plus, they have great key nutrients that you need. So try using more whole grains, like oatmeal in the morning, whole wheat bread instead of the white bread. Those are just some simple changes you can make to get more whole grains. You want to try to build habits that don't add pounds. And when I say that, I say you're cutting calories by skipping foods that are high in solid fats and added sugars. So we really want to watch choosing those foods that have added sugars and choosing those foods that are high in solid fats. And if we eliminate those two things, we will be healthier. Remember, water's your friend, but also know that beverages can add about 400 calories to your daily intake. So you might want to limit high-calorie beverages, and this includes alcohol, soda, fruit drinks, energy drinks, sports drinks, other sugary drinks. You really want to try to choose water more often and make water a routine in your daily eating, your daily intake. Men's energy needs do differ from women's, and we kind of briefly talked about that. You can really find out exactly what you need and how you need, just like women on the super tracker at myplate.gov. You can choose your gender, so you'll get a different printout for a male that you would for a female. Start cooking more often. Get beyond survival cooking. If you're in survival cooking mode, you need to move on to that. There's a lot of great cooking shows that are on you can watch. There's a lot of recipes you can try. You can even have some fun in the kitchen cooking, and I think you enjoy cooking in the kitchen. So I think it's what do you enjoy the most about it?
I think just making the food that I'm eating. And trying to make something different and tweaking a recipe.
Yeah.
I don't want to just make bread. I want to put maybe some jalapenos in it or something to give it a different flavor.
So you want to be creative and you want to try something new. Sweat's not bad. That's the other thing I want to leave everyone with is sweat's not a bad thing. We want to try to get that activity in. 30 minutes every day is really great. We can do 10 minutes at a time. So we can do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at noon, 10 minutes at night. And when you're in the kitchen cooking, you put on some rumba music maybe or some jazzy music and you can kind of dance around the kitchen. while you're cooking, and that really adds to your physical activity for the day. Parking a little bit further from the work door and walking a little bit further into work, that adds activity. Look for those ways that we can add activity into our day, but then also be mindful about trying to maybe do some kind of activity every day. Whether, I hear a lot of guys say, well, I really work very physically hard at work. And they do, but that doesn't really count for that activity that you need to do maybe for your heart, or maybe the strength training that you need to do to maintain a healthy body. So you have to look at all those different things and think about what's really working for me and what's going to work best for me and what can I add so that I feel better. And then fill your plate. Just like we've been talking about on these shows from time to time, with that lean protein, with that dairy, with those fruits and vegetables, with that whole grain. Put it all on your plate and enjoy it mindfully.
And if you want to know what that plate should be, go to myplate.gov. And it'll kind of describe it right there. Half the plate should be vegetables.
Yeah.
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 And it's tough for men to do, but if you got some really great tasting vegetables, it's not so hard.
Right.
Don't eat them always bland. Maybe there's things you can do to dress them up.
You can season them. You can use some herbs on them. Different ways of preparing them, mixing them up a little bit. I had a great salad this past week that was wheat berries, which is a whole grain, and it had some celery in it and some lima beans in it, and it was a cold salad and a really light vinaigrette on it. Absolutely delicious. I'd never thought about that combination before, but it was very, very good.
All right, so let's see if we can change how we eat a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, it's always the little things that you can do that can make a difference.
That's right. That's right.
Jan, thank you very much for being our guest.
Okay, thank you.
Our guest has been Jan Dougan, the Extension Educator for the Purdue Extension in Du Bois County. You can contact Jan if you would like more information. Contact her through the Extension office for Purdue here in Du Bois County, or your local Extension agent as well in the county that you live in. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. We're local people watching local people.